Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you? My name is Jeff, and what we're going to be talking about today, this is going to be a summary of the 40-day abundance journey that we're going on, along with some of the underlying beliefs that go with that abundance program. We are following the Abundance book here by John Randolph Price. And like I said, you can purchase that book online through Amazon. It's only about $7. It's pocket size so that you can review it. I am going to go through the four principles, the overriding principles, and then do each of the 10 days principles, so you can keep this video and use it as you wish for as long as you wish. And I thought that was important because this is a pretty complicated program. The language in it is sometimes difficult. It's odd, even though John Randolph Price is a contemporary. He only passed about 4 or 5 years ago. So he's someone that didn't come from necessarily a faith background, but got into having faith and trying to really embody what it was later on in life. So it is a spiritual program, but it has some very cool underlying pieces to it in terms of limiting beliefs and ego and the things that bother me most, and where most of my work is done here in Chicago with my clients, is around this acceptance of lack. I can't have this because. I'll never be successful because. My relationships don't work because. All of those are limiting beliefs. And what does that speak to? It speaks to not living the life that was intended for us, not living that life that is within us. It talks to not trusting ourselves, not living in integrity. I do this a lot, and it's because sometimes we can allow decisions to be made in our brain and it overrides our heart and our gut. Sometimes we'll make decisions, especially in relationships, with our heart, even though our head and our gut are saying, "Are you nuts? Are you crazy doing this?" But we do it anyway. And then a lot of times we'll make a decision with the best intentions and our stomach just rolls and rolls. If all three of those points aren't in alignment, probably not a good decision. So I want to talk about the program and how all of those things work, whether it's faith, trust, limiting beliefs, okay? So first off, this is a 40-day program. There is a statement each day, and I will ask you to look at that statement, read it, meditate on it, and then write in a journal. What does it really mean to you? There's 10 statements, it's 40 days, so the program repeats 4 times. That's intentional. The language is odd because we resist it. The language is asking us to trust ourselves and our higher power, our spiritual source. And that's hard because most of us have lived within trying to define our world and control everything. And you can exist your life that way, but you can't live your life that way. You won't experience everything that's intended for you. So I am going to do a little bit off of notes from this because I want to make sure that everything is correct. So let's talk about first on the 4 truths, okay? The first truth in the law is your outer world of form and experience is a reflection of your inner world of thoughts and feelings. As above, so below. As within, so without. Simply, you are what you think. You are what you think. In the previous video I talked about you can get up and you can look at cold weather as being cold and miserable and I'm going to be miserable, or you can look at it as the world is still yours. The sun might be shining on the most bitter of cold days, and recognize that. The second truth, the greater your awareness of the presence of God within you, the more that presence fills your consciousness. That's acceptance. Some of you know that I am in recovery, so you're looking at step 3 work here. A lot of this is step 3 and step 11 work. 3, the deeper your understanding of spirit as the source, substance, and activity of your supply, the more permanently that truth will be etched in your consciousness. Live the world. Live the word. Be the person that you were intended to be without fear. And that is the tough one. Okay, that is the tough one. Can I live this life? A kind life, a conscious life, and live that without what will others think of me? What if they don't love me? What if they think that's really strange? As a side note, I can make a perfectly good case that this is the way people like Martin Luther King Jr. lived, Mother Teresa, Gandhi. It's be the change you want to see in the world. That's important stuff and good stuff. And the fourth truth, it is your spiritual consciousness, your knowledge of the presence of God within you as total and complete fulfillment that interprets itself as every form or experience in your world. Abundance takes a lot of different shapes, doesn't it? One of the main focuses of this is this 40-day program will help you obtain money. How does it do that? Because it doesn't look as money as the end all. Greed in America is pretty good, right? We do a lot of work around making sure that we know that we want the next new shiny car, that we want the next whatever designer dog is out there now, the newest clothes. Fads come and go. We have to have that. Money is that piece of that, and that superficial application of that money is what drives American marketing. This is talking about something much deeper, living that truth, and that truth will allow you to create abundance in your relationships. It will eliminate that feeling of, well, maybe I want to start a new business, but you know that costs this much money, and how am I going to get this much money? The flip to that, one of my strongest beliefs is everything has an opposite. The flip to that is simply that, how will that business that I'm trying to create help others? If you can answer that, and it will help others, people will come. There's no doubt about it. And you will get back much more than you ever give. I mean, that is the basis behind doing step 12 work. That is the basis behind doing the work that you'll find within every religious book and tome. That is it. So why don't we do that? I mean, this sounds like the perfect thing to do, so why wouldn't we do that? And very simply, these limiting beliefs, I can't, I won't, I shouldn't, what if? What if they don't like me? What if I'm rejected? What if I go broke? What if? Anytime you have those limiting beliefs, those all come from some childhood experience. And those childhood experiences were intended to keep us safe at that time. And we carry those for the rest of our lives. The work in doing purpose statements, of which this work is a part of, allows us to see that those truths and those beliefs about ourselves just aren't true. We believe they are, but they aren't true. And that's what makes this interesting, because underlying those limiting beliefs, there's this lack of trust. And lack of trust of what? Lack of trust with what is happening and what's inside of us, who created us. Trusting that, not just knowing the words, not just being able to sing the songs, but actually trusting it. And that is what the 10 statements of principle actually do. So enough about limiting beliefs and ego and things. Let's get on with the statements of principle. This will be your summary. And you'll do one of these each day, okay? The statements of principle. Number 1, God is lavish, unfailing abundance, the rich, omnipresent substance of the universe. This all-providing source of infinite prosperity is individualized as me, the reality of me. 2, I lift up my mind and heart to be aware, to understand, and to know that the divine presence I am is the source and substance of all my good. 3, I am conscious of the inner presence as my lavish abundance. I am conscious of the constant activity of this mind of infinite prosperity. Therefore, my consciousness is filled with the light of truth. 4, through my consciousness of my God self, the Christ within, as my source, I draw into my mind and feeling nature the very substance of spirit. This substance is my supply. Thus, my consciousness of the presence of God within me is my supply. 5, it's a big one. Money is not my supply. No person, place, or condition is my supply. My awareness, understanding, and knowledge of the all-providing activity of the divine mind within me is my supply. My consciousness of this truth is unlimited. Therefore, my supply is unlimited. 6, my inner supply instantly and constantly takes on form and experience according to my needs and desires. And as the principle of supply in action, it is impossible for me to have any needs or unfulfilled desires. 7, the divine consciousness that I am is forever expressing its true nature of abundance. This is its responsibility, not mine. My only responsibility is to be aware of this truth. Therefore, I am totally confident in letting go and letting God appear as the abundant all-sufficiency in my life and affairs. 8, my consciousness of the Spirit within me as my unlimited source is the divine power to restore the years the locusts have eaten, to make all things new, to lift me up to the high road of abundant prosperity. This awareness, understanding, and knowledge of Spirit appears as every visible form and experience that I could possibly desire. 9, when I am aware of the God self within me as my total fulfillment, I am totally fulfilled. I am now aware of this truth. I have found the secret of life, and I relax in the knowledge that the activity of divine abundance is eternally operating in my life. I simply have to be aware of the flow, the radiation of the creative energy, which is continuously, easily, and effortlessly pouring forth from my divine consciousness. I am now aware. I am now in the flow. And 10, I keep my mind and thoughts off this world, and I place my entire focus on God within as the only cause of my prosperity. I acknowledge the inner presence as the only activity in my financial affairs, As the substance of all things visible, I place my faith in the principle of abundance in action within me. One of the things that's interesting in this book are statements called fruits of the harvest. As you go through and you write down these statements and you meditate on them and you think about them, I mean, one, please put some of those thoughts or images or photos or anything on our Facebook page. The program does work better if we share. But I want you to begin to also keep some side thoughts or some side journaling about how your life changes as you begin to move, perhaps not through the first 10 days, maybe even the second 10 days, but certainly within the third 10 days and fourth 10 days. As these words become more a part of you, a part of the joy within you, my favorite word, joy, learning to trust your higher power, learning to be comfortable with who you are in a kind, compassionate way leads to abundance. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so happy that you're a part of this program. It's the kind of thing that I hope that you'll do every once in a while. The ego and the limiting beliefs do their darndest to come back and to hold us in their power instead of the power that's within us. Thanks for being here. I look forward to seeing you all either on videos or on Facebook. And thanks again. If you want some more information or want to learn a little bit more, you can check out the website at reclaimyourjoy.guru. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon.